Do you think hugging your dog every day, buying them lots of toys, is enough for them to feel your love? It sounds right, but the truth is, many people, no matter how much they love their dogs, are still hurting them, simply because they don't truly understand how dogs perceive love. I know you love your dog. And that's exactly why you're here, looking deeper. Trying to become the kind of owner who truly knows how to say I love you in a dog's language. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you 10 little things, but to your dog, they're as big as the sky. Some of them you've done before. Some you might be missing. And number 7, I believe you'll never forget it. Because it strikes deep into the heart of every dog lover like us. Do you remember the first time your dog peed on the carpet? Maybe you were really upset. But have you ever stopped to wonder, was it really on purpose? Dogs never do things just to disappoint you. When they start making mistakes, like going potty in the wrong place, or not responding the way they used to, it's not defiance. It's a sign that they're weakening, confused, or simply growing old. I once met a man who quietly mopped the floor every night because his 12-year-old dog could no longer control his bladder. When I asked him, "Aren't you tired?" he just smiled and said, "I made a mess all over the house when I was learning to walk." And he never got mad at me once. That's unconditional love. And for dogs, one of the simplest ways to feel loved is knowing that even when they're clumsy or fragile, someone is still there, calm, gentle, and never walking away. If you've ever held back your anger when your dog chewed something up, remember this: you just planted a seed of trust, something no toy could ever replace. Have you ever hugged your dog tightly, only for them to pull away? That sinking feeling, like saying, "I love you," and the other person just staring back in silence. The truth is, not every dog enjoys affection the way you think. Some love snuggling up right next to you. Others prefer a gentle pat on the head. For some, just being in the same room is enough. Just like humans have their own love languages, so do dogs. Some say they love you through eye contact. Some lean against your leg. Others paw at your hand when you stop petting them. I once met a woman who owned an Akita, a breed known for being a little aloof. She told me, "I used to think she didn't love me. Until one day, I got sick, and she lay by my bed for 3 straight days without moving an inch." Dogs don't need to speak. They show love by staying close. And you can too, by learning to express love in their language. You're doing something most people never even think to try. You don't need to hug them tight, just listen to what their body is saying. Because true love isn't about how we express it, but how willing we are to change for the one we love. But love isn't just about affection. Love is also giving your dog a life safe enough for them to grow peacefully. Day by day. Right finger. So what gives dogs that deep sense of safety? You might be surprised by what comes next. This might surprise you. One of the greatest ways to show love to your dog is to make their life intentionally boring. Sounds a bit backwards, doesn't it? We often think dogs need constant surprises, new adventures, exciting outings. But the truth is, what dogs crave most deeply is the feeling of safety and predictability. When you feed them at the same time every day, when you take them for a walk on a consistent schedule, when you gently pat their belly before bed, these are the ways you say I love you, through presence and routine. I once met a little dog who, without fail, would sit by the door at 6 p.m. sharp, waiting for dinner. One day, his owner came home late. The dog didn't bark, didn't cry. He just sat there quietly, eyes fixed on the door, like a child who missed a meal. But still believed, Dad will come home. That kind of trust, it doesn't happen by accident. It's built over time, through small, repeated acts of love. For dogs, love doesn't come from grand gestures. Love is knowing, tomorrow morning, you'll still be there, same time, same place, still loving me just like yesterday. So, if stability is the foundation of love, how can we help dogs step out of their comfort zones without fear? The answer lies in encounters, not just with you, but with the world. Have you ever noticed your dog only wants to play with you and seems shy around strangers? It sounds sweet, doesn't it? But sometimes it could be a sign of limited love. Dogs are pack animals. Even when they're deeply bonded with you, they still need to connect with the world, to meet others, to interact, and to feel like they belong. I once met a small, Timid dog who would hide behind his owner's legs every time they met someone new, or another dog. The owner said, "I thought that just meant he loved me, that I was all he needed." But the truth was different. After a few weeks of trips to the park, playing with other dogs, and socializing, he became more lively, joyful, and less dependent. Because real love isn't about keeping someone tightly in your arms. It's about helping them grow wings and still know the way back home. If you give your dog the chance to meet and play with others, you're helping them learn to trust life, trust people, and trust themselves. Sometimes, love isn't about holding on, it's about trusting enough to let go at the right moment. Have you ever noticed, every time you take your dog out for a walk, they stop to sniff every tree, every lamppost, every blade of grass? You're in a hurry, but they're fully immersed, like they're reading the morning news. Completely focused and fascinated. To you, it's just a walk, but to your dog, it's a grand adventure. Dogs see the world through their noses. Every scent tells a story. Every new street is a whole universe waiting to be explored. I once changed our usual walking route, just added 2 new blocks. And guess what? My dog turned into a completely different pup, more energetic, more curious, and as excited as if it were their very first outing. Sometimes, the simplest form of love is giving someone the chance to see more, feel deeper, and truly be themselves in this big wide world. You don't have to take your dog somewhere far. Just change direction, slow down, and let them lead the way. Have you ever seen your dog rolling around like a maniac on the grass? And thought to yourself, "Oh no, another bath coming up." But to your dog, that's not weird behavior. That's pure joy. Rolling in the grass, sniffing the earth, shoving their head into some dirty little corner, it's how they connect with nature. Release stress, and simply feel like themselves. I once met an elderly man who took his dog to the park every single day. Even when it rained, he stood under an umbrella while his dog rolled happily in the wet grass. He smiled and said, "I think it's filthy, but for him, it's life." When you let your dog enjoy their instincts, you're sending a clear message. I don't just love you when you're clean, obedient, and easy. I love your wild, muddy, messy self too. And that kind of love is what makes a dog feel safe, whole, and free to be exactly who they are. Did you know, the world of dogs isn't built from colors like ours? It's built from scents. That tiny nose of theirs can detect over 100,000 different smells, in ways we humans can't even begin to comprehend. To a dog, every scent is a message, an emotional map, that helps them navigate life. When you wear your favorite shirt, leave your scent on their pillow, or let them sniff your shoes after work, it's not weird behavior. It's a powerful act of connection. I once did a little experiment. After a stressful vet visit, I placed an old shirt of mine, something soaked in my scent, on my dog's bed. Just 5 minutes later, he buried his head in it, let out a deep sigh, and fell asleep like a baby. Sometimes, love doesn't need to touch, it just needs to leave behind a trace. Invisible but warm. You can try placing your scent on a scarf, or simply include your dog in life's small moments, folding laundry, opening cabinets, cooking dinner. Because to dogs, scent is memory, and memory is love preserved in every breath. We often think that to show love, we have to do something. A play session, a gift, a cuddle, but for dogs, sometimes, the most wonderful thing you can do is nothing at all. Just sit beside them. No phone, no TV, no rush. Dogs don't measure time in minutes or seconds. They measure it by the rhythm of your breath, by the calm you pass on to their small, trusting bodies. I once saw an elderly couple who, every morning, simply sat quietly on a park bench, with their fluffy dog nestled between them. No talking, no activity, just being there. And I believe, that was 3 hearts beating in sync. No words, no conditions, just presence. You don't always have to engage with your dog. Just let them feel the steady comfort of you nearby, and that's more than enough to carry them through a long day. Love doesn't live in the dazzling moments, but in the gentle silence that stretches on. Unbroken. How many of your dog's quirks can you name? Not just, likes beef-flavored treats, or enjoys ear scratches. But the deeper, more subtle things, like, do they hate the sound of the vacuum? Love lying by the window in the morning? Or flinch when someone touches their left paw? Dogs have their own personalities, routines, And little fears too. Understanding those things is your way of saying, I don't just love your cute face. I love every odd habit, every scar, every little fear inside you. I once knew a woman who, every night, would lay out her dog's favorite fleece blanket, never folding it. Because her dog only liked it messy, rumpled, and weirdly tangled. She laughed and said, "He's a strange little guy. But that's what makes him my dog." When you know your dog well enough to scratch that secret, itchy spot, or sense when they need space, you're no longer just a pet owner. You're family. No one needs to be perfect to be loved. They just need to be understood. There are moments when you don't need to call, don't need to touch, don't even need to speak. You just look, and your dog understands everything. Eye contact is one of the oldest forms of connection between dogs and humans. Studies show that when you and your dog calmly look into each other's eyes, both of your bodies release oxytocin, the hormone of bonding and trust. I once tried a small gesture. Every morning before our walk, I'd kneel down to my dog's eye level. Say nothing. Just look at him quietly and smile. And every time, he'd tilt his head, wag his tail, and gently place his snout in my hand. It wasn't a look asking for anything, but a gaze that said, "Thank you for still being here with me today." If you want your dog to feel your love, sometimes you don't need words. Just sit down, meet their eyes slowly, calmly, and let them see that in your gaze. They are the most important part of your world. Love isn't how often you say, "I love you." It's that your eyes always find them, even in a crowd. You've just gone through 10 ways to say, "I love you," in a language your dog truly understands. Maybe you've already done some of them. Maybe you just realized there are a few you've unintentionally overlooked. But what matters most is, you want to understand. You want to love them the right way, and that alone is enough to make your dog feel deeply loved. Your dog doesn't need you to be perfect. They just need to know that every single day, you choose to stay, to listen, and to love them with your whole heart. If any part of this video reminded you of your beloved pup, give them a big hug, or simply look into their eyes, and let your gaze say what words can't. Thank you for always being here with me. Bullseye. And if this video touched something in your heart, hit like, and share it with fellow dog lovers. Because sometimes, a small video can spark a love that grows even deeper. Would you like to see more videos like this? Leave a comment below. I read every one. And I'm always here, with you and your dog.